Alright, hello fourth graders. Welcome back to Mr. Hansen's Math Class YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you find that this video has answered some of your questions that you may have had doing your lessons, make sure you give the video a like as well. Today what we're focusing on is on lesson 62, multiplying 3 or more factors and exponents. Okay, so first let's tackle multiplying 3 or more factors. We're jumping right into examples. Okay, so if we have to multiply 3 times 4 times 5, okay, since it's all multiplying, we start on the way left and go to our right. So if we have 3 times 4 times 5, we focus on the two factors first. We focus on 3 times 4 first, and we multiply that out. Okay, so 3 times 4, we should know mentally, is 12. Then we bring down everything we haven't used yet, which is times 5. Okay, so now we go 12 times 5. Now we might not know what that is mentally, so let's go on the side here and work out that problem. Okay, so now we go 5 times, and we go into the ones place first, so it'll be 5 times 2, which is 10. Carry the 1, bring down the 0. 5 times 1 plus 1. So 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So our answer would be 60. Now, this is the same thing as many numbers as you're multiplying. You do the same thing over and over and over. You just bring down what you haven't used, and you just continually multiply the next two numbers together. Okay? And until you run out of numbers or run out of factors that you're multiplying. Okay? So that's example 1. Example 2 has 4 factors in it, okay? So we have 4 times 5 times 10 times 10. Again, we start on the way left with 4 times 5, and we multiply that out first. Well, we should know that automatically with our multiplication facts is 20. Then we bring down everything we haven't used yet, which is times 10 times 10. Okay, now you do the next two factors, which is 20 times 10. So now you go on the side and work this out. Now, you can have a cliffhanger here. So you put the tens, the 1 in the tens place under the ones, cliffhang the 0. You can do this when you're dealing with numbers that end in 0. Because then you can bring that 0 straight down. Then you start with 1 into the ones place. 1 times 0 is 0. Then we go 1 times 2, which is 2. So we have 200. And now you bring down what you haven't used yet, which is times 10. Then that's the last step. Okay? Times, now you can cliffhang the 10 again. Bring down that cliffhanger of the 0. Okay, now you're just doing regular multiplication. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. So then our answer would be 2,000. Okay, biggest thing with this, boys and girls, is you start on the way left, figure that out, and then drop it down and drop down everything you haven't used yet. Okay, multiplication facts are going to be key on this one. Okay, that's it with multiplying more than 3 factors. Now we're moving on to exponents. Okay, now an exponent is a number that shows how many times another number, or the base, is to be used as a factor. Okay, so say we have this. Okay, the 2 is the base number, and the 3 is called the exponent. Okay, now what it's basically saying, the base is the number that's being repeated. Okay, that's how I always say it. So 2 is being repeated. The exponent tells you how many times it's getting repeated. So it'd be 2. So it's 3 times. So you go 2 times 2 times 2. It is not 2 times 3. It is not that. Okay? 2 is the number that's getting repeated, and the 3 is the number of times it's getting repeated, which is 3 times. So it'd be 2 times 2 times 2, which when you multiply that out, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. That's your answer. If you would have went 2 times 3, you would have gotten 6, so you wouldn't have even got the same answer, the correct answer. Okay, so let's look at example 3 here. Okay, so 5 squared, which when we have an exponent of 2, we say squared. Or you can go 5 to the second power plus 2 cubed. When you have the exponent of 3, you say cubed. Or you can say 2 to the third power. Okay, so the base is 5, and the exponent tells you how many times it's being repeated. So 5 is getting repeated 2 times. So 5 times 5 plus, and then 2 is being repeated, and then how many times is it being repeated? Which is the exponent 3 times. 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, so first figure out the multiplication. So 5 times 5 we should know automatically is 25 plus, and then we just figured this out, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So if we go 25 plus 8, we get 33, which would be our answer. Okay? Example 4. Rewrite this expression using exponents. So again, what's the number that's being repeated? That's 5. So that's your base. All right, and then how many times is it being repeated? 1, 2, 3. That's your exponent. 5 to the third power, or 5 cubed. Okay, now don't write your exponents like this. Okay, or don't write them like this. Okay, because that kind of looks like 53. Okay, make sure your exponent is smaller than your base number. Okay, that's very key. And then example 5, last example. Use the formula for the area of a square to find the area of a square to find the area of this square. So to find an area of a square, you go you multiply one side by itself, or you can go area equals the side squared. Okay? So if one side equals 5, we would go 5 squared, which 5 squared, so what's the number that's being repeated? The base is 5, and how many times is it being repeated? Twice. So 5 times 5 equals 25 inches squared, since we're dealing with the area. Okay? That's lesson, the end of the lesson for you guys. I believe it's 62. Forgot already. 62, yep. That's lesson 62 for you guys. This video shout out goes to Dominic. Hope you're doing well and staying healthy. And also, all the time, I hope you're all staying healthy and doing well. Remember to follow the guidelines for social distancing, so that sooner we follow those guidelines, boys and girls, the quicker you can come back to school, and the quicker I get to see you guys face to face instead of seeing you guys through a computer screen. If you have questions, don't be afraid to email me directly. All right? Peace out, and miss you guys a lot.